Well, we're sold out, so just want to make sure everyone found a spot. Good evening and welcome to First Baptist Church and our night of comedy show. We are glad to have you here and hope you find tonight enjoyable and worth a laugh or two, because it's going to be the bee's knees. I tell you what, folks. We have a photo area here to my right where you can get your picture taken with the folks you came with. And that is going to be done by Rhonda at intermission and after the show. This year for our variety show we have a Moida Mystery, the Caffeine Caper, along with other short skits. It's going to be just 12 folks. We encourage you to follow the mystery plot because someone got bumped off, and at the end of the evening you'll be able to vote for who you think the Moida is. There's some helpful hints and space on the back of your program so you can write clues and any other information that's going to come out around this joint. And if you guess correctly, there may just be a small prize. Allow me to clarify though, at this point a person is only missing, but Moida seems likely. Welcome to Oceana County, where prohibition has been enforced for 5 years. But it's not hard to find a drink in this county. Again, allow me to clarify though, it's prohibition of caffeine. You got it, folks. No coffee, no Java, no Joe. Unfortunately, that also includes Coca-Cola, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, Diet Pepsi, Red Bull, the list could go on and on. But sadly, anything with caffeine is, yes, illegal. Of course, you all know that already. You're here just sneaking the Java just like the rest of us. Here in the OC, though, bootleg caffeinated beverages can be had for the asking of plenty of joints like the Colonial, the Ever Oceana County. Hi. Next, we have Aunt Eddie Socks Argyle.
Excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me.
He is smooth, fashionable, and clever. Eddie is an avid golfer and runs the Colonial Golf Course that also features a gaming house and restaurant with evening attractions. Those close to Eddie also know him as a deal maker and in certain circles as Fast Deal Eddie. Although what he deals in and with whom he deals is not said. Melissa Hart, better known as Scoop, is a young reporter for the county's leading newspaper, the Oceana Herald-Journal. Scoop quickly made a name for herself on the crime beat and later covering the political scene. Recently, though, Scoop has written a series of articles exposing corruption in government and as a result has antagonized several of the city's most powerful figures. Undaunted by threats against the paper and herself, Scoop has vowed to carry on the crusade until I've exposed every crook in the OC.
Just like you, Dan Riley.
Next we have S. Triton Harrow. U.S. District Attorney and Chief Opponent to the criminal element in the OC, Harrow is single-handedly responsible for bringing to justice several of crime's most despicable practitioners. Amidst the corruption and complacency that characterizes Hart's law enforcement, Harrow stands out as a shining example. Quite the big cheese around here. Yet nobody knows his first name.
Going down, Riley.
Next we have Anna Maria Carlotta Cecine, better known as Torchy. She is quite a doll. Currently the featured singer at Eddie Giles' Colonial. Torchy also has appeared in many of the exclusive nightclubs in West Michigan and has sung with many of the town's top jazz bands. It is her rendition of the more traditional blues melodies and so-called torch songs that have earned her the nickname Torchy.
You got a friend in me, Dan.
Last, we have Billy the Kid Thrower. He is the star pitcher for the Hart baseball team. Billy was born to play baseball. At his first game last year, this fella struck out 11 batters. He currently holds the high school strikeout record. Off the field, Billy is fun-loving and known for his deep addiction to Dr. Pepper. the team last season and is on a faster pace this year. Excuse me, his strikeout record is 17. So
I beat Al Noble.
oh, I'll clarify last night that it needs to be higher than that. So Billy's now at 17. So them's the suspects, folks, and pay close attention because they're all crooked. On with the show.
Hey, you know, Harold, I heard a couple of rumors. One, it seems some friends have been after Cappucinno for some income tax evasion. And also, apparently I hear there's been some rival gangs cutting in on his beverage import business.
Yeah, there's a lot of internal dissension right now. He's barely hanging on. And the way we're dealing with justice in the courts,
Really, justice? I have statistics that only 1 in 65 caffeine gang-related cases make it to court. And less than that, only 6% are convicted. Now, personally, I believe that somehow Cappuccino's gang is paying off the cops. And some reporters are suspicious that the police chief and our very own DA Harold here and a few other judges have been paid off by Cappuccino in the past.
Oh, I'm not really sure I would say Harold. Sweetie, his crime's worst enemy. The circles that I travel in, he's called the best DA money can buy. You know, a few weeks back, there was a police raid out at that joint down the road, and my friend was caught in it. Oh, she was dressed to the nines. She walked into the police station, and the officer took one look at her and marched her right on up to the DA's office. Well, what did you know? A few minutes later, she walked out with a smile on her face, and her diamond necklace was missing from around her neck. Oh, it sounds like payoff to me.
safekeeping.
A dirty DA?
You know, Blondie, we got reports that someone fitting your description was seen driving a tanker.
What's a tanker?
Tanker's a normal-looking SUV with hidden compartments for hauling bootlegged, caffeinated beverages. Seems this blonde here can drive better than most. Every time we start to close in, she just kind of slips away.
Oh, I'm a flapper girl. I like to drive fast and drive wild wherever I go.
Well, you probably don't know about Miss Molly, but a few years back, she ran off with Gat. You know, that bootlegging gangster? Gat with a gun?
He was so hot.
That's where Molly learned how to drive those SUVs and use a Tommy gun. Her and Gat started out in business in Muskegon before coming out to Oceana County. And then Gat ran into a few problems, got into a few bad deals. He had to leave the country. But Moll, she stayed.
Yeah. Also, news in the newsroom is that when Get left, Mom here took over the operation and found herself a new partner. Yeah, I hired a new partner too, Annie. You know, her bootlegger skills must sure come in handy. I hear you call her your transportation consultant.
Hey, you know, me too. I've often seen them two running around town together. And every time I see it, it just makes me stop and think, what is a gorgeous dame like Molly doing running around with a crusty wheeler-dealer like Ernie?
Talking about wheeling and dealing, Ernie made a boatload of money in the stock market in the 90s. And since Prohibition's cornered the market on the coffee bean suppliers, he's even buying stock in all kinds of caffeinated beverages like Pepsi, Coke, Faygo, Starbucks, you name it.
Don't forget our...
Hey, Ern, even despite Prohibition, you sure are raking in the moolah.
Yeah,
must be having a girl on my arm. I mean, come on, every guy ought to be entitled to a few, right? But, I mean, you know, while we're talking, I just thought I'd let you know I really do enjoy reading your articles in the Oceana Herald each week. And I especially like that article where you call the local police the dark side of the force, and how that other one go. Buffoons dancing to the tune of greed. Oh man, you cracked me up. But, you know, in your defense, I honestly cannot remember you ever saying a bad word against Cappuccino.
Yeah, you know, I got an article that you wrote about Cappuccino Scoop. It's here on my phone. This is just a little wonder of technology. I can keep newspaper articles on there. See, we got a camera. Look at, here's my King Snuggles. But I digress. Scoop, you basically glamorize Cappuccino's whole business. You say that he's just so organized. The Hart Hotel is the center of all the activity with a huge concrete vault underneath. There are crates of coffee beans and cases of all kinds of caffeinated beverages stored down there. And you say that the drinks make their way into all the cafes and the clubs in Oceana County during the nighttime hours. And here, I quote you, it's a sorry fact that more businesses in Hart do not follow the example of Mr. Cappuccino. Who considers Cappuccino a legitimate businessman anyway?
You know, I've read a few of your articles too, Scoop, and I gotta say, you have a tendency to be critical and downright harsh.
Well, you don't get my old boyfriend. He knew Scoop back in the days of New York City. That's right. It seems her father made his living off of Scoop and her brothers pickpocketing on the streets. Well, Cappuccino was an old family friend and he didn't want that kind of life for her, so he brought her out here to the OC. You know, she was doing pretty well, learning the newspaper business, making a name for herself, until a commune got wind of her past and started giving her a hard time about it. Well, Cappuccino took care of him. Pumped him full of lead, if you know what I mean. He says, nobody messes with Scoop. I guess that's why she gets away with writing the way she does.
Well, she's a great writer and researcher and all that, you know.
So Cappuccino is stopped it down. That was totally uncalled for.
Hey, Scoop! Scoop! Hey, Scoop. Always thought that name was kind of funny, Scoop. But I thought you got that name from scooping that Mookie's and Cream ice cream at Country Dairy. I didn't even know it was New York.
I've known you for years, Miss Silky, and I've really got to see you sure run a classy joint up there at the Ever Young Spa. You're starting with haircuts and saunas, and then you added on facials, mud baths,
I love mud baths.
manicures, yoga, and Pilates.
Billy doesn't mind.
You can really, quiet yourself and meditate. And they even have personal trainers on staff and all. In fact, I was there just today getting a small trim from.
And nice trim.
Yeah, you sure do run a ritzy place there, Silky. You know, I used to work there before I started singing at the Colonial. Everyone's got to start somewhere. Anyway, yeah, the members can sure rack up the bills there because, some of the services are quite expensive. That's why I'm glad that I have the employee cooks.
You know, Torchy, I remember when you worked there. You were a great receptionist.
Thank you.
But you used to skip out every once in a while, not show up for work, not phone us. You kind of left us high and dry. I don't know what that was all about, but you just used to say you had something to tend to. Never could fire you, though. I mean, look at you. Gorgeous, great personality.
like $1,000,000. I don't pay her anywhere near that. I don't know how she does it.
I have a really good savings plan.
Okay, enough of this. Would anybody like to talk about me again? Okay, well, fine, I'll just go ahead anyway. You know, after a game, I'd like to go and just sit and drink me a nice cold Dr. Pepper at the Colonial. Where all the guys go and hang out, you know, we do guy stuff, play fantasy football, and my favorite, we watch the big games on the big screens. It's got it there.
Yeah, I was there the other Monday night in the back room where the high stakes stuff goes down.
I saw you back there.
Ernie was in there, won $800,000
Oh.
on a fantasy football game. Yeah. Couldn't believe it. Sox was just as calm as could be about it.
Hey, you win, you win some, you lose some. Life's like that. Deal the cards.
Winter time and the living is easy. Temps are falling and gas prices are high.
Hello,
Does anyone have any questions that they need cleared up? Any of the clues?
now's your chance to ask a question. Anything?
If you see them drinking Dr. Pepper at the Colonial, Mr. DA, how come you're hanging around and doing nothing about it?
It's part of an ongoing undercover investigation.
Thanks for clearing that.
Torchy, where have you been when you're not showing up for work?
Well, you know, sometimes I get to singing in front of Leah, and, you know, primping and all, and just lose all track of time. What can I say? Artists are like that, you know. Take creative license.
Sox, where do you get that Dr. Pepper that you serve in the back room?
Well, that's a real good question. It just seems to show up at the club.
I have a question. How come nobody cares that earnest gambler is drinking Coke all the time? He's just drinking it right in front of everybody.
Well, we are in a nightclub, darling. We're all drinking coffee and Coke these days.
Okay.
They're all pretty crooked. They're all high in caffeine right now.
We're hiding out.
Life's like that, you know, Crystal.
Molly, it sounds like your ex-boyfriend Gaff's gangster bootlegger skills have worn off on you.
Oh, yes. Well, you know, that's why he's history. I have me a new boyfriend now these days. His name is Tim Beggs.
Okay, well that can be it till next time then.